Welcome back, all you chipsters. What a day, what a day. Well, as you can tell, all our hydraulic lines are cleaned out of there. And all my ends are all new as far as there. Might start working on this. I know I'm short on the 3/8 fittings. So I'll work on that in a minute. Maybe, we'll see. We got some projects coming, or we got an issue. So basically, let me explain to you what's going on. So we have, get up here without falling. All of our hydraulic lines, isn't that nice? New plate welded on there because that was cracked. All new, and I welded it. You want to know why? Look at that. No, I didn't weld that. So, what? You're fat?
I got different ideas.
You got different ideas for the wiring?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's bad. It's bad all the way. All the way.
So, Brian just came up with a better idea. Our problem is like you look at those wires, they're all spliced. What happens is they all get busted up eventually. So you get into this predicament. All our hydraulic lines are out. So now's the time to probably do the wiring, was our idea. And if you're gonna put all the money in your hoses and hydraulics, you gotta do it right. While it's like this, while the yoke's out, while you can get in here easily, now's the time to fix it right. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna fix it right. And we're gonna redo the wiring while we're in here, because that ain't gonna cut it right there. That's not with putting what we're doing. We want it done right. We want this chipper to go out in the woods and to last a while. Be able to run at maximum production, baby. So I just talked to Brian, and his idea was a better idea. I come up with the idea to work on the wiring now. Stop everything. Just stop everything. We'll work on the wiring. Air conditioning lines got holes in them. We'll run new heater hoses in here. We'll do all that while we're in here. And Brian just come up to me and said, I got an idea. What do you think? Well, it's a great idea. Let's pull the cab off. It isn't going to be that hard. We'll pop the cab off. So, it's pretty simple to pull the cab. You can see where your wires are. You just got to unhook all that stuff. It's really not that difficult. And then we will know exactly what's going on in there. It needs cleaned out. And there's a wiring mess up there too. So therefore, let's pull the cab off. Right now, it is the time to do it. We'll take a break on the hoses and just go from hydraulics to getting this all in the back. If we can get the cab off, start tearing it apart, we'll literally get everything in the back done. And that's our plan of attack. So, I don't have no clue how today's gonna go. Brian's doing some welding in there. That's why he's gone. He's in there welding. And he come out and said, I got an idea. I said, I like that idea. We're gonna fix it. We're gonna do it right. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna get back to work. I think I can make some of these hoses. If not, I'll organize them and set them inside. But pulling the cab's gonna be the best bet, because you can't even get up there right now because all our steps are pulled off. We pull the cab, set her inside. We got room, and she needs all the insulation ripped out of it, rip the guts out of it, and start from scratch. And then we'll start working on our wiring that goes from this point to the cab and get that all done. It just needs to be done right. So we shall see what happens. But don't them new hoses look pretty? They are made like a boss. I mean, I don't know who crimped them, but I mean, just look at the specs. Just look at just come on now, come into focus and show. I mean, what can you say? I mean, it's like It's like somebody that, you know, that one might have been a little tight. That's fine. No shame in my game, baby. I mean, just the specs of the crimp is just like right on the money. I mean, if it ain't perfect, it ain't right. You know what I mean? That's all we're doing. It's perfect. Oh, jeepers! Look, I mean, come on, jeez, woo, baby, yeah, baby. I mean, a chipper operator. Let me tell you, he knows. You know. Uh-oh, Brian guy's here. Look at this. Oh, it's been graded. It's smooth as glass out there. I mean, it doesn't have GPS, but you wouldn't know it didn't. I mean, the thing is just good teamwork, boys. Circle can pick her up. Oh yeah, come on, baby. Yeah, baby. You get on the snap? Day in the office. She needs a good spring cleaning. And then we'll start working on the wire end and heater. It's nasty. Ugh. 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 Hey, looky there, looky there. Transmission for a Chevy. All the wires. Wires. It's going to be a good thing. We're going to jump right into her. I like it.
All the way back.
Welcome back. End of the day, wrap up of what's going on around here. Things are getting pretty interesting. We got the cab off, we got the cab inside, and we pulled the windshield out of it because you can't even see through that thing. So got it cleaned out somewhat, and I'm kind of getting a plan for morning. I think the best plan is to pop the seat out. That won't take but 4 bolts, and then pop the air conditioning heater unit right off. Take it right out. That won't be that hard. Just 8 bolts maybe. Pop the air conditioning unit, heater unit out, and then I think the best bet would be to set it back outside and power wash it, because she's a little. It doesn't smell great in here. So I think that's the best bet. Then everything gets cleaned, start fresh. And then we'll get some new gaskets for the windows, get a new front windshield, just get her good and cleaned out. And then we'll start rebuilding her piece by piece. Here's the electrical units pulled out. Yeah, so then we'll get, she needed some love in the wiring department, pulled them out, radio out, that'll give me radio, and then electrical wires. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of feet of electrical wires will get changed. So yeah, that'll all get changed. We just got a massive work area going on over here. We're making it happen. Everybody's asking questions on how much the hose and fittings cost. I didn't buy any of them. I didn't pick any of them up. I don't know, okay? But I can tell you, I don't know what each individual one costs, but I know that they don't give them away. And I need another 100 foot of inch and whole roll of a 1/4 inch. Still got 100 foot of 3/4 inch. But then we'll get burned up quick. I mean, I've bought fittings that are $70. You can buy fittings that are $100 a piece. We got hundreds and hundreds of fittings for this thing. But look at that hot rod. Oh yeah, baby. Woo! Oh. Yeah, so the hoses and fittings, they don't give them away. But that's what she's looking like now. She's pretty barren. But we're on a good path to get this thing wrapped up. Once we get the cab fixed, everything done, we'll have this whole back will be all completely done. That's the idea, is to get it straightened out the first time, get it done right. Like all these, I mean, we gotta replace all them steel lines gotta be replaced. Them all go up into the cab. So yeah, we'll get it straightened out, and all the wiring comes down into the top of this junction box. So yeah, it's coming together. We're getting the work done. Josh's stuff there. But it's looking good. We got a good plan of attack. We're making good headway on it. Once we get this cab done, and it won't take us long to do the wiring in the cab, put it back on there, and then we will start putting the hoses, the hydraulic lines through there, get them all put on there, wrapped up, and like I said, the whole back will be done. Yeah, somebody made a comment. They were said to have somebody under the cab do the hoses, you know, like the lower end of the totem pole people. And here's how it works. Let me explain to you real quick how this works. I have crimped every hose that was made for this machine so far, and Brian has tightened every hose that was made for this machine so far. When it comes to hoses on this type of system, you gotta have everything crimped properly, otherwise you get in trouble. I broke the 1-inch die today. I'm not gonna lie. Somehow they got overlapped. We'll pick up a new one in the morning. This is my section I got done. I got the 3/8, half, 3/4, and then my 1-inch die, and I just go back and forth and fiddle through all that stuff. And there was my latest list of stuff that I needed, and I broke the 1-inch die, and that's all I had to fix was more 1-inch hoses. But when it comes to, let me give you a for instance real quick when I'm talking about why Brian wants to make sure they're all tight and why I'm crimping them all. Because of the importance is of the most important. If you put a hose on that's way down in here, you know, and that's just the second row. There's one more row of hoses. There's 3 sections, right? This in the very middle, obviously you cannot get to. You know what I mean? So if that leaks, you have to tear minimum of 10 to 15 hoses off to get to that one hose to make sure it's tight, or if it's not crimped right, and it just makes a mess. So therefore, me and Brian are real picky. I'm real picky because I don't like to run a machine that leaks oil, and I want it done properly. Brian does too. So therefore, that's why I'm crimping them. Billy was helping us, and Brian was tightening them all up and making sure they were tight as he was going. So therefore, you know that everything's done perfectly because you know how it is. You have lower guys with total pull, and there's nothing wrong with that. They just don't, they might not understand the importance, and they're still learning. So we got a couple guys learning, and me and Brian have kind of done the deal. So when it comes to hoses on this machine, you want it done, everything done right, every fitting tight, every O-ring changed, every crimp done properly, and there you go. So yeah, we don't have people tear stuff off. Brian's kind of tearing stuff off and marking stuff, and he can go in there and tell you what hose runs what without it even being marked. So little update, fun, a lot of work. But boy, is she looking bare. Getting her right down to the skinny, right down to the bones, and we'll build her back up. And we're making this chipper great again. Thanks for watching. Let's keep rolling.